everyone, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. This is a super special beer review. I'm on a mountain that I really wanted to do for a long time. This is Cerro Pedernal. It is a P1K, it's a peak of 1,000 feet of prominence or more in northern New Mexico. This is, I would arguably say, New Mexico's most famous mountain, maybe tied with Shiprock. And I say that because I think people all over the world have probably seen this mountain at one point or another. It was made famous by the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Of course, lived in northern New Mexico for a while. She worked out of Ghost Ranch, which is very close by in the town of Abiquiu, New Mexico. And she painted this mountain a lot, to the point where there's even a picture of one of her paintings in the little geocache summit register box on the summit. The beer that I'm reviewing today is by Manhattan Project Brewery in Dallas, Texas. It is their Elemental Helles Lager. Manhattan Project Brewing, not a stranger to this channel. I've reviewed one of their beers. I think that review aired in like November 2022. And then I did kind of like a blind tasting. That was a lot of fun. I highly recommend you go watch that. Especially because by the time this video airs, it'll be very appropriate timing. Of course, the Oppenheimer movie comes out, I want to say July 21st. We're near the town of Los Alamos, kind of on the other side of the mountain. So like crow's flight, we're close, but driving distance, we're kind of far. And we're in the Jemez Mountains, which is where Los Alamos is located. Manhattan Project Brewing. Manhattan Project was based out of Los Alamos, and so it's a perfect combination, what with the Oppenheimer movie release. I can't say I timed that on purpose, it just happened to work out that way. I actually did visit Manhattan Project Brewing last weekend. I was in Dallas, Texas, or the Dallas, Texas area for my sister-in-law's graduation. Tell her congrats in the comments. And I went to the brewery, really awesome place, great beer, great food. This beer was highly recommended by one of their brewers, and actually I separately went up to the beer fridge to get it, and when I went to pay, the bartender was like, that's an amazing beer. So of course, it being Lager Summer 2023, only reviewing lager beers, if people are screaming its praise, practically begging us to buy it and try it, then obviously I gotta review it. Helles Lager, I expect that to be pretty crisp, pretty easy drinking, pretty smooth. Really, the glory of a Helles Lager is in its simplicity, so don't take my word for it. Here's the back of the can. It says, Elemental is a beautiful example of restraint. With a soft and bready malt character comes a slight sweetness. It is simple without being boring. It pairs with almost any food, but its best complements a moment of relaxation. The German-style beer stands the test of time. So I am going to do what the can says and pair this with a moment of relaxation. And by that I mean, there was a pretty significant Class 3 scramble. Just at one point, I didn't think it was that bad, but I definitely do not want to have any alcohol churning through my system, not even a little bit during that portion. So I'm gonna pack up, head down the peak, and enjoy this. There was a nice little viewpoint on the way up that I think I'll probably enjoy this. So I'll see you in a minute. Time for a sip. This is a really excellent beer. The problem with Lager Summer is when I review a lot of more traditional lagers, it gets really hard to kind of subdivide these into notes. What I just say right off the bat is, yeah, it's an excellent lager. I mean, just the balance is great. The balance between the hops, the malt, just this crispness to it. If I have to really go into the notes here, and I'm going to do my best, I'm definitely getting bready. I'm getting crackery. I'm getting a lot of like floral characteristics and fruity, also leaning more towards the floral. I think it's really hard to pick out something in particular, maybe like peach skin or something, or apricot skin, just that like floral aspect of a fruit, maybe even like a blossom of a fruiting tree. The floral note I'm getting is also very like honeysuckle. Maybe I'm even getting a little bit of honey itself. I'm definitely getting a lot of, not really bitterness, but there's that noble hop characteristic. It's got that, it's just got that general like earthy spiciness that you get in like German noble hops. I'm also picking up something that I wasn't getting at home when I tried this initially, and maybe it's just because the temperature is probably a little bit warmer right now. I'm getting a little bit of nuttiness as well. The mouth feels really excellent. You saw when I opened it up, it had that great fizz, and I don't think that was because I was bouncing. I think it's just, it has that really, well, I mean, a little bit because I was bouncing, but it has just that really good fizz, that good, light, bubbly mouthfeel. The finish, smooth, It doesn't do like what cheap light lagers do, where they kind of like just die and kind of leave you with this like sudsy almost finish. But the finish isn't like bitter, like maybe a more hop forward lager would be. The finish is just very subtle, very calm. It's like it just gently closes the door and walks away. It doesn't do the Irish goodbye of a light lager, and it doesn't do the loud exit of a more hop forward lager, or maybe even an IPA. So not much to say about this beer. Again, that's the downside of lager summer. Sometimes I'll get these beers and it's like, I don't know what to say other than it's pretty good, and it's got these typical lager notes. So thanks for joining me. Cheers. Happy lager summer. Have a backcountry beer for me.